Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dairy Aisle. It's me, your host Eli. With me, as always, my favorite co-host, the handsomest person in this entire quarantine. Ladies and gentlemen, James Mazzarato.
Oh, what is up? I'm pretty sure handsomest isn't a word, but I'll take it.
It is now.
I'll take it. We take those. We take those compliments.
We do.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, surviving the apocalypse. I'm a little pissed that there aren't any zombies, but whatever. I'll take what I can get, I suppose.
Man, I'm telling you, if this was a zombie apocalypse, it would, one, be a very different episode, and two, be much more fun in the world.
Yeah, because
You
we
know?
like recording breaks every 2 seconds. Hold on, one of them's on the lawn. Boom! From the. All right, got him.
You see one pop through the door. You're like, God damn it. You pull out a galvanized steel pipe. Oh.
Also, listen, I'm offended that you think that during a zombie apocalypse, I, of all people, are going to let those fuckers into my house.
Well, you just never know. Maybe Millie, isn't doing what she needs to do. Classic Millie. And,
God,
she's one of them slipped in.
Yeah.
How's everything over there? Quarantini.
It's fine. I stepped out of the house now before we started recording. I passed by a Home Depot to pick up some wood filler for a project that we're doing. Because everyone in our group of friends has become a carpenter.
I have to show you my table, by the way.
It's finished. Of it, and did you lacquer it already?
Oh yeah.
Good.
It's stained and lacquered. I'm gonna do like a 220 grit, like a nice little sanding on the top, just to smooth out some of the spots that it has. But after that, it's done.
Dope. So yeah, I did that, and then I passed by Advanced Auto Parts, just picked up some oil and an oil filter because I got to do an oil change on my sister's car. And then that's it. Basically, everything else is stay at home, play video games, watch Netflix, essentially eat and do the same thing that everybody else does.
Are you still in the office?
Yep.
Oh, you're still going in every day?
Yep, Monday through Friday, baby.
Man, this working from home thing, I'm kind of getting used to it. I like it. I like being home.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have to go back to the office and go, fuck, like,
bro. I think we canceled through June. So I don't know when we're going back to I don't know what's happening.
Wow.
All I know is my job didn't get touched, thankfully. We had a lot of layoffs, but my job didn't get touched. But me and my coworker had to take on more responsibilities at no increase to our pay. So that was like our compromise.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, if nothing else, a lot of the practices that these companies are taking now in light of this, this might be the sort of like wake up call that some employees might have needed to say like, maybe it's time I switch industries or I just go to another company.
For sure.
Somebody online had mentioned that like it's very likely that in a couple of years, like an important interview question on the point of the person looking for the job is going to be, how did your company handle the coronavirus and what systems did you put in place to ensure either like employment security or that your employees got paid or how did you compensate them for coming into work and things like that. So which should be interesting to hear some of these companies' answers.
I mean, I think it's one of those things that depending on the industry, depending on the company, it's such a new territory for everyone as to like what to do when all of a sudden like your economy and your regular like business schedule just halts through no fault of your own, really.
Yeah.
So I mean, how they've handled it so far has been pretty good, but I think those answers are going to vary so much from industry to industry, from company to company, from like, because I mean some companies even within like the cruising industry, like there are companies that maybe on the outside look more profitable or like they have more bankroll, but maybe they don't. Maybe it's a lot of show so that way like it looks better, and maybe they don't have a lot of liquid capital to work with and stuff like that. So I think it's also a time where like you start to see the real face of a lot of companies and not just like the pretty exterior they kind of show. So but I think what was the number now? I think it's at like
20 something. I think it's like 22 million people.
22 million
employment.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And even then, like that, I think that number also really goes to show you just how many people live in this country. That like,
oh yeah,
there's 22 million people that have filed for unemployment, and that still leaves like 330 something million people in our country that have not filed for unemployment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you have to take out like children, stuff like that.
But in general, like that's still a lot of people that live here. There was actually a really interesting map I saw yesterday on Reddit that was all of the counties in the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii, and then it just highlighted the ones in blue that that hold the highest populations. And it's literally just like New York, South Florida, parts of Jacksonville and Tampa, the entire southern half of California, and then like one little tiny island in Hawaii, which I presume to be Honolulu. And they're like, all right, that's it. Everything else in blank basically doesn't count. There's nobody there. And it's wild that like that amount of people have just gravitated to like those 3 or 4 corners. That's it. That's all we got.
Well, it's like those are the hubs, right? Those are like the huge, the huge metropolitan hubs.
Expanse of the rest of the United States, and you're like, oh, there's like no one living out there. Great. Like,
yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like, but those areas are the areas that we don't want people to live in.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why don't you leave don't touch my national parks? Don't. Yeah, like I don't want 4 million people.
One giant national park.
That's all the United States is. Just one big. It's all Yellowstone now.
That's it.
Everything's Yellowstone.
We're kicking everyone out. The whole place needs to reset. So,
man, that's another thing that I've done a lot during this quarantine is we've been looking at a bunch of places that we're traveling there when this is fucking over. Like, I want to go to Yellowstone. I want to fucking see Niagara Falls. Like, I want to go to fucking Mount Zion or Zion National Park, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would love to go back to like the Blue Ridge Parkway up in the Carolinas, and I'd like to go to Smoky.
Oh, Blue Ridge is beautiful, dude.
I love it. But yeah, no, I definitely want to go to Yellowstone and shit at some point. We should, like, now that I'm 30, I'm like, okay, I'm responsible enough to be able to like rent a car and set aside money and say like, all right, I'm gonna fucking just leave for a week with my friends, and we're gonna go to a national park, and we're gonna do this like a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Which we should do. Like, once all of this is over, that should be a thing that like our group should say like, hey, what are we doing? All right, well, we're going to go to 2 national parks every year,
I don't know about every year because there are other trips that we want to do, and trips to national parks can be expensive.
You know what? We got okay.
Maybe like once a year. It's reasonable.
Maybe like one big one a year. However, on the subject of nature, we actually have a special guest with us today. Okay. So this is somebody in our group of friends who we've talked about bringing onto the podcast a couple of times, and we were just kind of always looking for the right time and the right subject to bring them on.
And we figured a quarantine, a pandemic quarantine
that has ravished the entire planet would be the perfect time to bring them in. Now, for those of you listening who have been with us for a while, you've heard us talk to Jay about ghosts because apparently he's haunted. You've also heard us talk to Vinny, who's decidedly not haunted. However,
he is decidedly not haunted.
Not. I think the problem with Vinny, he's too handsome to be haunted. That's the issue we're having here.
I've always thought that. I was like, man, why do ghosts not go after Vinny? And then I'm like, God, he is a tall drink of water.
I think they're put off, or not put off. They're intimidated by his handsomeness.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that, things haunt Jay because he's ugly. I think it's just his super positive attitude. So they have to like steal from that energy, that hot Dominican blood of his. So.
Yeah, that's probably it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However.
Maybe it might be the haircut. That might be why they're haunting him.
For the haircut.
Because I know that haircut's haunting him.
That's a haunted haircut for sure.
That is a haunted haircut. Those scissors picked up themselves.
They must.
Those clippers went wild.
Sort of a hell beast. So,
without further,
our guest today is none other than Jay's beautiful wife, Mitzy. Ladies and gentlemen, please get ready for quite possibly the most energetic person you've ever met.
Okay, stop sucking her dick. Get her on.
Wait, I heard there. Was that it?
There she is.
Only semi-haunted.
Only semi-haunted. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I kind of don't want this quarantine to ever end. Is that terrible to say?
There's a part of me that understands where you're coming from and totally agrees. Yes.
Mm.
You know what? I go the opposite way. When this ends, I think all of us essential employees that had to keep going in, we deserve like a 2 or 3 week paid vacation.
Oh yeah, for sure. You guys deserve it.
At least you're not in a hospital right now. That has to be super annoying. Oh my God, that has to be crazy.
Capacity, whether it's like all the way from the doctor to fucking like the janitor that's got to clean up. I wouldn't want to be in any hospital, period, for any amount of money.
God bless them.
Yeah. And especially, did you guys see, by the way, I know this is COVID related and we're going to steer clear of it. But there were a bunch of all of the field hospitals that they created, like Central Park and all of like the sports arenas that were converting into like field hospitals and stuff. Like they didn't need any of them. They're they're putting them away. So this is very good.
That's good. That's positive.
Yeah, it's good signs.
Didn't that hospital ship leave already?
Yeah, the USS Mercy or Comfort. Yeah.
I think just
yeah, it left.
Just leave. They weren't just like, bye, we're leaving.
It's 4 a.m. They're like, what's going on? Where's the Comfort going? We're like, oh, we gotta go. There's a Comfort convention in the South Pacific.
They got the wrong coordinates. It's a comforter convention. Shit.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you did not just fucking do that, huh? Jesus Christ.
All right. So I know we said we were going to steer clear of coronavirus stuff, and we are in a way. We're not going to be talking about the negative aspect of this because God knows we all get enough of that just by waking up in the morning. We have decided that we're going to talk about, very briefly at least, the positive aspect of what's come out of all of this.
The silver linings.
Yeah, exactly. The silver linings. We decided to get together and talk a little bit about what are some of the upsides to all of this nonsense. And we each were able to round it down to about 2 things that we wanted to talk about. So we're going to give our guest, Mitzy, first dibs. So Mitzy, go ahead.
Yay! Now, before we get into it, I do want to kind of address something that I saw on Facebook that it's valid for sure, but someone put a post that was like, oh, I dare you to talk about how the planet is healing in the face of these people who are sick and dying. And I'm like, okay, that's fair, but at the same time, why can't both exist simultaneously? Like, why can't there be good that is coming out of something that is obviously horrible for so many people? So I want us to talk about the good stuff without hopefully any, we're not stepping on anybody's toes or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that sounds like someone who just, wants to kind of look for an argument in anything. Like
Maybe.
the environment's doing better, and because of that, and because of coronavirus, and people are inside, and there's a quarantine, and people are dying because of that. It's just 2 things that exist at the same time, and there can be contradictory things that exist at the same time. It's just life. Like,
right.
If a lion kills a gazelle, yeah, it sucks that gazelle, but that lion gets to eat, and like her cubs get to eat. So it's like one of those things where it's like it's good and bad at the same time. Just it is what it is, and it's whatever. So if anyone gets mad at that, you're a big baby bitch, and maybe it's time to learn how to be a reasonable, critical thinking adult.
James,
enjoy the program.
Oh my God!
I don't suffer fools, Mitzel. I do not suffer fools.
I'm just saying that if you are someone or know someone who is suffering, our hearts are with you, but at the same time, we're going to we're going to just kind of shift our thinking just a little bit.
Just because we talk about the positives of this doesn't mean we're ignoring the negatives of it.
Correct. Or it doesn't mean that this whole, right, like me wanting to keep the quarantine forever is a joke. It's not obviously like, I want people to get sick forever. Like, that's not what I'm saying. So
of course. Yeah, of course.
Just want to make sure.
Hopefully everyone knows that we're not
Correct.
Monsters. We're not all monsters.
So one of the big things that I wanted to point out was that, in all these other places in the world, we've noticed that nature is kind of like coming back and doing these fun things, like the canals in Venice and the Himalayas are opening up and all that stuff. But in Miami, which is where we live, I was like, man, I wonder if there's any kind of like good positive changes around here. And I've noticed way more manta rays, like the huge, like Moana grandma is hanging out like right on our shores. Whereas before you would rarely ever see them. And if you did, you had to take a boat like miles out and get lucky.
I had to go all the way to Galapagos to find one.
Yeah, like now they're just outside our door, which is wild to me because they're so beautiful. And then I guess the other point I wanted to address is that we've seen success. Woo! We have successfully flattened that curve, which is good because obviously what we're doing is working. But at the same time, people are like, "Oh, it's good. We can go back outside," and I'm like, "Wait."
Oh, don't just immediately do that. No.
I was like, "Wait, just a second. Make sure it's all good before we start." And then the last thing was that NASA was able to build ventilators in 37 days. And it's like this awesome prototype that they can use shorthand while people are recovering from COVID. And then the ones that are long lasting, they can give to more severe patients. So there's like way more success in recovery and more chances of recovery because NASA came up with this. So it's like, woo, good stuff in the air.
Those are super awesome. I saw the flattening of the curve was super successful. That like we actually, which for a little while there, I was like, I don't know if we're all going to be able to do this because everyone seems real gung ho about spring break and shit. I don't know. Oof. Everyone really likes going outside with other people. But yeah, we did it. I think New York had said that they needed like 30,000 ventilators, and I think they only ended up getting like 4,000. Like the federal government set 4,000, and they didn't even need those. They were good. They didn't even hit capacity with the ones that they had. So yeah, super positive that we were able to, like, in this time of, kind of like, not even because this disease wasn't super crazy from all like the studies that are coming out. It doesn't seem like it was nuts, but like what a great like kind of dry run in case there's ever a more serious pandemic,
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, I got to shift in my bed like that little kid from Willy Wonka's grandpa.
Now that you mention that, like, yo, fuck Uncle Joe. That guy,
yo, Uncle Joe's a bitch.
What a fucking faker. You're just laying in bed like a little baby back bitch until somebody's like, oh, I gotta go and take it. And suddenly you can fucking river dance across.
Yeah, this motherfucker's doing the fucking jig all the way across his fucking shanty town home. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden fucking Uncle Joe can move around real spry like.
Fuck you. I hope arthritis cripples you. Fucking liar.
Uncle Joe.
Hate Uncle Joe. God. Anyways, aside from the Uncle Joe hate, so what I noticed was that there's been a drastic improvement in air quality around the world. Not only in just a reduction in measurable pollutants, in terms of like parts per billion, but physically, there are places where smog has cleared that has never been clear or hasn't been clear in 30, 40, 50 years. There was a picture of there's a location in India where they were saying for the first time in like 38, I think it was 38 years or 39 years, that you could kind of see the Himalayas, which is dope. Yeah. Like, you have to zoom in a bit on your camera, but people were like, what's that white thing over there? And they're like, oh, that white triangle at the top. Yeah, that's Everest. So, which is nuts.
LA apparently is like smog free.
Yeah, Manila for the first time in God knows how long. Manila, you can see the Manilan skyline.
Wow.
What else? I think this is one I was telling Mitzy the other night, was that in Bombay, like on the beaches of Bombay for the first time in like 50 years, there's been this resurgence of the natural flamingo population showing up on the beaches because there's nobody there.
Wow.
Which is incredible. I'm going to try to find some of these photos so I can give them to Millie so she can put them in the show notes for everybody to look at these things, because they're actually like fairly impressive to see this. Cities that traditionally we consider to be these like enormous population centers where everyone owns, 19 different scooters and they already wear masks to begin with, but suddenly everybody has to stay inside and you're like, oh, okay, so this is what nature would normally be like if you guys weren't fucking all this up. Got it. Thanks. So that's been pretty dope. Also, noticing that there's been like a pretty intense like rediscovery that people have made of suddenly like realizing that the outdoors is a thing, and that you park your car and that your dog takes a crap, and that it can be a real source of entertainment and a good way to exercise good mental health. Like just go outside and see greenery, like go look at grass and trees and experience wind and animal noises. Like that's a big deal for a lot of people who work 8, 9, 10 hours a day inside of a building, whether it be a retail store or whether it be an office or whatever. Like most people don't really experience the outdoors like they do from when they leave their front door to when they get in their car, and then when they leave their car to get into their office, and then, maybe during lunch if they're lucky, and then that's it. And then on the weekends, maybe I go to the park for an hour, or I walk outside with my dog or something. That's it. That's not enough. And half the time those people are glued to their fucking phone anyways. But the fact that like in my neighborhood alone, every afternoon looks like a fucking block party is like everyone's going for a run, everyone's on their bikes or their skateboards or their scooters, or people are out fishing and playing with their dogs and laying out picnic blankets and shit. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, that's one of the things that I've that's been like really nice to see is like if you go for a walk or if you go for a bike ride or a skate or something like that, like you see so many families just out and about, like, family with their kids playing, flying a kite, or just doing outdoor shit and just, being together and not being, glued to a screen or busy doing whatever the hell they're doing. Like they get to actually fucking enjoy life for a little bit,
Oh, it's true. Absolutely. Mitzy, have you seen any of that stuff in your neighborhood?
Oh my God, every day we go to walk our dogs and there's just, it looks like people don't have cars anymore and they're just like, well, I gotta walk to the grocery store. And I'm just like, where did you all come from?
Yeah, it's been real weird seeing the sheer amount of people that like live in our areas, because you just assume, you're like, there's 2 cars outside of that house, there's 2 people living in there. Nope, there's 47 people living in that house. And now they're all outside. Wonderful.
Yep.
It's like a clown car. It's ridiculous sometimes.
I mean, everybody thankfully has been, for the most part that I've seen, they are practicing social distancing when they go out. They wear masks. If it's just them within their group and they're not really near anybody, they obviously don't wear a mask because that can be uncomfortable and it's not 100% necessary. But it is nice to see people kind of becoming reacquainted with the outdoors,
Yeah.
Realizing that, your PlayStation or your Xbox or your computer or your TV or whatever, it's not like the be all and end all of forms of entertainment. You don't need that constant stream of news. You can just go outside and enjoy the outside, and I'm hoping that carries over once all of this is finally said and done. And they're like, okay, we can officially go back to normal. And I'm using air quotes to describe normal, but like that's it. There's no more stay-at-home orders. You don't really have to practice social distancing anymore. You don't have to wear a mask or go inside of a store. I'm hoping that this stuff continues. I don't think it will, but I'm hoping it does.
I think it will for not everyone, because I don't think everyone's ever gonna do anything right as a whole. But I think a good amount or enough of a percentage amount of people are going to find that they like doing those things. They like woodworking. They like gardening. They like going out and riding their bike with their family. Like they've realized, like, oh man, this is really great. And I was so busy before that I didn't realize this is something that I even wanted or needed. And I think that there's going to be a good enough amount of people that are going to take, they're going to take this farther than the quarantine, right? And incorporate it into their routine and their daily lives, which I think is great.
Okay. What have you noticed anything that we haven't mentioned, James?
I'll say I'll touch on kind of like the same thing where you're kind of experiencing or trying new things that maybe you didn't try before. I think the break from the literal break from regular life, where literally like this is gone, like, hey, all those things you were busy with, all those events you were going to go to, all those parties, all those social gatherings, all those things, like that's done now. You're not doing that. So just like the fact that there's so much time, which I know can be a negative thing for certain people, if like maybe you're dealing with something or you're going through some kind of like, strife in your life or something like that, having a lot of time on your hands can kind of be detrimental if you're not, staying busy. But for someone like, let's say Christy, who I think is a prime example of this, she's had so much time because she's normally so busy, right? With work and events and she's constantly on the go, always doing something. This time has kind of given her the opportunity to get back to things that she really likes. She's reading a lot more. She's painting. She's doing photography. She's like learning how to do things that have like previously been really frustrating for her. And like, she has the time now to really, like put her focus on it. So like that kind of stuff, I think has been like super beneficial. The fact that we've gotten a chance to slow down and literally have time to do things that she would have never been able to just like sit down and do. She would have always just been like, oh no, I don't have time for that, or that's not important right now. Now it's like, well, there's an importance.
So I think it's really great that a lot of people have been really productive and woodworking, gardening, all that fun stuff. But can I tell you something that I have gotten into that I would never have gotten into prior to this lockdown, which is not very productive, but it's so fucking fun. I don't know if you guys will maybe understand. Maybe you, James, because Christy is in it too, but TikTok? Oh my God. It's a phenomenon. So prior to this whole thing, it was just Gen Z like doing their little dances and stuff, but the millennials have kind of taken over. Yes, Eli.
Oh God, TikTok.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Twerk bits. But it's just so funny because now people, it's kind of almost like what Vine used to be, because now there's like skits and just people being silly or people actually being really creative and or giving out great advice or smart or just
it's Vine. It's Vine with tools, right? It's like Vine with like editing tools.
Yeah, and it's honestly it's so fun. Like I sit on the phone just like scrolling and I'm like, oh, it's only been like 10 minutes and then it's 2 a.m.
That was Vine. I remember Vine would do that to me all the time. I'd be at work at lunch and I'd be like, oh, let me just like check out, let me just go through my feed on Vine. And all of a sudden I would be like 20 minutes over my lunch. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's addictive.
I love it. It's great. It is addicting.
Another thing that she's been doing, by the way, that I think has been really cool is she's literally started in chronological order from the first Marvel movie and she's watching it all the way through. And let me tell you, watching her reaction to all of, because there's some movies that we haven't watched in like 10 years, so she doesn't even remember the plot. She's like, what is even happening? Watching her like fall in love with like comic book stories and like all of those heroes, I'm like, oh my God, my heart. Like we watched Far From Home. When she was watching Civil War, she was hype. But like we were watching, not Far From Home, we were watching Homecoming. And she forgot that, spoiler alert, everyone. 3,
It's
2,
been a year.
1. It's been longer than that. Vulture is his prom date's dad. So she forgot that part. So as he's in the car, like getting ready, Tony's had that conversation with him. He's like, hey, maybe this isn't for you. And like Peter's kind of starting to focus on his life a little bit. And he's like, all right, I asked this girl that I like to prom. I'm killing it. Fucking, I'm an awesome high school student. He gets to her house and it's fucking Vulture's her dad. And he's just like, and Christy lost it. And I was just like, yes! I was such a proud nerd husband. I was like, yes, fall in love with all of it. So that's been like a really fun thing that she's been doing. But everything else you guys pretty much covered, like environmental shift and stuff like that, which is like a really big positive. I guess also another positive that's kind of weird. I've realized that I don't need certain things that have been sold to me my entire life.
Such as?
I don't need paper towels for anything. Ever. For literally anything. We have a ton of terry cloths and that's all I need. Why the fuck would I have? I don't know why I'm spending that much money on paper towels. And then what was the other big one that I was like, oh, we don't need that anymore. I forgot. But paper towels is like the big one that I was like, oh, this is a thing that I no longer am going to purchase moving forward.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's a fair assessment. So also, how far into the Marvel verse is she?
Doctor Strange.
Okay, so pretty far.
Oh.
She's in like now it's like Marvel's like really solid. Like they're just the second she got.
Oh,
I think we might have lost James there.
Oh shit.
Although it did, I mean, I know none of you listening to this are going to see this, but it froze on his face perfectly.
Did my audio freeze? Oh, my internet connection's unstable.
Yeah, for a second there, we thought that Thanos snapped his finger and you were gone.
So I think I figured out what the problem with my internet is. By the way,
what is it?
We need to get our whole.
Oh, there it goes again.
Oh.
Right as he says it too, the internet was like, "Shh, can't tell them."
Don't tell. Is my audio cutting or is it just my video?
Completely.
The whole thing.
Oh, my audio cuts too.
Yeah. Hurry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear.
Everything's good?
Yeah.
Everything?
Yeah.
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 Cool.
But yeah, we need to get the electrical checked out in the house.
He's
Oh God.
describe what's going on. It stops him. This is too good. He said every time that he tries to do what, the electrical does something.
So every time the AC turns on in his house, the lights flicker and dim. I think that was your first warning sign, sir, that you needed to get your electrical check.
Yeah, well, my electrical guy won't fucking come to my house.
Oh.
I called him 3 times. I mean, before the pandemic. Here, what if I do this?
Ew.
No, for sure. Ew, that was a mistake, huh?
Block that out of my view.
But is my audio cutting anymore?
No.
No, your audio's fine.
Oh, okay, good.
Still have to look at this hideous fucking photo. That is so much better. Like you're
perfect.
Man, it is, huh?
Is so much better than that photo. Anyway, so I find it interesting that you bring up the Marvel thing, because one of the things we had discussed for this show is that with all the time everybody's had, we wanted to see if any of us had sort of rediscovered or jumped back into our favorite movie franchises. So I figured we could discuss that really quick. So Mitzy, we're going to shoot over to you first, because you actually gave us a sort of interesting, sort of like off microphone answer about your sort of view on your favorite movie franchise. So go ahead, hit us.
So I don't really have a favorite. And this isn't just for movie franchises, though. This is also for like people who come up to me and go, oh, what kind of music do you like? What's your favorite band? Who's your favorite celebrity? What's your favorite thing? I just don't have one.
Do people often randomly come up to you and ask you those things in that ridiculous tone?
No, but I like to give them a ridiculous tone because I don't have an answer.
I'm imagining you go to like Publix and there's like a guy standing out in front and you're just like, hey, ma'am, what's your favorite movie franchise?
I don't know, but I will tell you one thing. My favorite movies, I guess, are Disney movies. And I will promise you that my neighbors are sick of hearing me belt out, "It's me and Ned!" Every day. Frozen every day in my house.
Do you watch a Disney movie every day? At least in the bed. You don't have to sit down and like watch it, but is there one in the background at least?
If it's not a movie in the background, it's the playlist.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have a whole Disney, and it's not like from a specific movie. It's just Disney variations from Renaissance to new movies.
Well, yeah, you don't pick a movie and listen to a soundtrack. You listen to all of the soundtracks.
Right?
Come on. If you're listening to Disney, you're listening to Disney.
James, why does your voice sound like several octaves lower?
Like
it's called vocal chocolate.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Not to vibe.
No. Unacceptable. Fix this right now.
You want to listen to Disney music?
Fine, but if you're going to talk in a low voice, then I'm going to talk in a really high
I'm not
voice.
talking a low voice. My voice is just deep because I'm so goddamn fucking manly. Bro, I got so much testosterone pumping out of my fucking sack
Disgusting.
that it fills my vocal cords and deepens them. It brings them
Really
down.
cool piece of that.
You
Well,
gonna what?
anyway.
Jesus Christ. All right. That was weird.
So, going back to what we were talking about,
So
I'm
Disney.
pretty sure my neighbors think I have a child who's obsessed with Frozen, but I don't. I am the child.
I am the child obsessed with Frozen. Meet me.
Oh, man. Anyways, what about you guys? I'm sure you guys have favorites.
Eli, you go.
Okay, well, first, we really got to talk about your voice, because I don't know if it's like a connection thing or voice.
What is up with my voice?
Super low. It's ridiculous.
I'm not doing anything different.
I know. There's no way you can actually do this naturally.
I'm not. I'm talking I'm not doing anything to my voice.
We're both hearing it, and it's
Hold on.
bad Barry White impersonator. so bad. Oh god.
I'm so glad I pointed it out because would you have stopped him and said anything?
Like off mic, I was just like on the WhatsApp chat, like, "Yo, dog, what's going on with your voice?"
What's
Something
up?
is off.
What about now?
Oh, you fixed it.
I did it.
Yeah,
Okay, so I unplugged the mic and I plugged it back in.
good. You don't really shitty like.
I cannot wait to hear the playback.
James, you sound like
It's gonna be great.
you sounded for a little bit there like a really bad Philip Seymour Hoffman impersonator.
So it must have been really funny when I was trying to lower my voice because I didn't know what you guys were talking about. So it must have been even worse when I did that. And I was like, her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Literally vomit inducing. Don't ever do it again. Yeah.
Ew, what?
Sounded like a bear.
Stop it. I'm uncomfortable, sir.
She just
Let me see that vulva.
So many things are being cut out of this. This whole section.
No, leave the vulva part.
No,
Vulva.
that's gonna get cut too.
Christy's face when I said vulva.
Ooh. Hi, Christy.
Well, don't let him do these.
Wow. Mitzy said, "Fuck you, Christy."
What the fuck?
I
That is
know.
not what I said.
That is what. Look at her. She's laughing about it.
Is she wearing an FBI hat?
Yes, she works with the FBI.
Yeah, she's wearing an FBI hat. She's going on an investigation right now. She's deep undercover.
Plot twist. She's the FBI agent that listens to our conversations.
I can't hear you, so whatever you're saying.
We're saying hi.
I'm out.
She's out. She's going for a bike ride. Be careful. Bike safe. Take your phone.
Don't wear a helmet.
No, wear a helmet. I'm the only idiot who wears a helmet.
2 helmets.
Oh, she wears that FBI cap.
Well,
It protects her.
something.
All right. So, James, you were asking what my favorite movie franchise is.
Yes. So back to.
Technically, my favorite movie franchise is actually 2 franchises put together, and that would be the Alien and Predator.
Knew it.
But not Alien versus Predator franchise, because those movies are a shit show.
Whoa, hold on. The second one was okay.
None of them were okay. Literally,
Requiem was okay.
none of them were okay.
They were okay. It was all right. I could watch it.
Were okay. But the separately, like the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise are great, and I love all of them. And I also read a lot of the Predator books because I'm a giant nerd. And weird things like that.
Did you read the comics too? Because I know there's like a whole comic series for.
The comics got weird. Like there was a lot of like weird shit going on in like the late 90s. There was like Alien versus Predator versus Batman, Alien versus Predator versus the Terminator. Like,
Wait, what?
yeah, you didn't know about this?
Versus Batman?
Let me tell you, the Dark Knight lays down some fucking beatings. Like he knows where his limits are against these two, but he tussles with a xenomorph, and the xenomorph like stops for a minute, like,
Bro, that sounds dope.
And bro, let me tell you, a fucking Predator catches those fucking Wayne hands hard at one point. Like,
Come on, though. A Predator would fuck Bruce up.
no, I mean, eventually it gets to the point where he kind of like sees what's going on, and he goes, you know what? This isn't between the 3 of us. This is between you guys. I'm gonna stay out of this one because I don't have acid blood and I don't have heat vision. So nah.
So I'm just gonna dip.
Yeah, but like every time he encounters one of them separately, he's like, "No, I can kind of get this a little bit."
Predator's about to catch these hands. These bat hands.
Predator caught some fuck. Well, the thing is that like, and I say this as a big Predator and Aliens nerd. Most of the Predators that you see in movies, for the most part, they're essentially teenagers.
Yeah,
They're the youth, and so they're trying to prove themselves. If you went toe to toe with like an older, like adult or elder Predator, dog, you are fucked with a capital F.
yeah. Aren't they called the Yuan or something like that? Like there's different like tribes.
Yeah, the name of their species is the Yautja.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is I believe is like spelled like Yaujhta or something like that.
Yeah, it's spelled all rainforesty.
Exactly. But they're like from what I've read in the comics and in the novels, like legit, like their species is like a caste system. Like there are lower, like shitty people, and then there's higher people who are, usually like the elders. They have their own ships and stuff like that, or they're on like some sort of a council of hunters. But their society is literally revolves around the hunt. That's it. Nothing else is of importance. Also, some of like the deadliest predators like in the universe are females.
Just like lions.
Yeah, and they're like super strong for their size. They're usually like a foot smaller than normal predators, but they're vicious, and they usually have their own like weaponry. Like I know, like in the novels, one of the ways that they like mention female predators being discernible, other than having breasts and being small, that usually
vulva cannon.
The what?
The vulva cannon?
No.
Oh,
don't have
sorry.
the cannon.
Shot in the dark.
Yeah. No, they have they're the only ones that carry like claws, like metal claws on their hands that don't look like the ones that the males use in the movies. That looks like a giant blade. It looks like Freddy Krueger claws.
That's hilarious because they're female. So they're like, ooh, Teresa, did you see my new nails, bitch? I'm a cut a bitch.
No, that is like, I'm a cut a bitch should be the slogan for all female predators.
Why is the female predator from the Bronx?
Oh, no. Oh, Gina, did you see what they said the other day? Oh, my God.
That's Long Island. Don't you be confusing barrios.
I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here.
Different accents coming out of that area. It's hard to keep track of all of them. But anyways, I digress. Then the aliens themselves, the xenomorphs, are some bad motherfuckers.
There's some pretty bad motherfuckers, huh?
They are. I mean, there's actually like their story is much shorter because they don't have a society, because they're obviously not like super intelligent. They're just a hive mind. But in some of the novels for the aliens, like there are some things that happen with the queen that are very scary, like to the point where you're ready to believe that like the queen can communicate on a certain level with humans and explain her motivations. But yeah,
Yeah.
Essentially real fucked up. But yeah, I'm predator for life, man.
Wow.
I don't know if the microphone caught that, but that's about as good as my predator impersonation can get.
Do it again. Everybody be quiet. Do it again.
Yeah, you saw and none of you are going to see this if you're listening because this is on a Zoom call, but I was doing the little mandible things with my fingers.
It really added to it. The mandibles added to it.
I tried to do it without the mandibles. It sounds terrible. It's not very mandibular, as I like to say.
It's terrifying.
You need the whole package. It's a visual and it's a sound thing. It's like a whole thing.
So, yeah, giant nerd my way. So, Mitzy, what about, well, we covered you because you said you weren't really into franchises. That's right. You're just,
yeah.
For you, it's really just one big IP. It's all Disney, right?
Yeah. I mean, franchises will come out and I have to watch them because of FOMO, right? But like, I do enjoy franchises. I do like Harry Potter and, whatever. I like franchises. But to say that I have a favorite, I don't have one.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't think about them deeply enough to have thought of like, oh, I like this one more than the other. You're just like, it's a thing I watch.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Feels.
All right.
Feels.
What about James?
I have a few. There's not like one favorite one that I'm like.
Oh, so you don't have a favorite either.
I have a favorite. Movie franchise wise, my favorite. The thing is, a lot of them have gone down paths that I don't particularly enjoy. So they've been very disappointing as of late. But I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars.
Yes.
I love the Star Wars movie franchise. What has happened to the Star Wars movie franchise as of late is disappointing.
Oh.
To not get into a whole conversation about it, to me, particularly where the story is going, I'm not like vitriolic. I'm not going to be like, I hate it. That's damn bad. It's a story that's being told. It's not necessarily I don't necessarily love it, but it is what it is. And Jurassic Park is another one of my favorite movie franchises. I love Jurassic Park very much.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I'm just going to interject here real quick. I saw a meme about Star Wars, and it was Spider-Man, right? You know that one scene where let me start with, it was Rey Skywalker, right? She's like, "Oh, hi, I'm Rey Skywalker." And he's like, "Oh, we're using our made-up names." And it made me very upset. I don't think people understand the point of that movie.
Oh, so we're using our made-up names. Okay.
Do people not believe in adoption? It's like, oh, if you're not from my blood, you're not my family. Like, shut the fuck up, Greg.
It's not that. That's not the reason they're saying that. That's not the reason that meme exists. That's not the reason the person made that meme. The reason the person made that meme up was because she's lying about what her last name is, because it's all silly that they tied it back to Skywalker at the end, the way they did it. And they made
Who
her
says she's lying about her name?
She's not even Palpatine's. I can't get into Mitzel. If we get into this, we're gonna get into this.
We're gonna call each other on the side and then get into it.
We can go all the way down this rabbit hole of Star Wars, because I've had this conversation / argument / discussion.
See, again, another franchise I truly love. I'm invested, but is it my favorite? Like, does it make my lady bits jingle when they release a new movie? I mean, only a little bit.
I know Elias wants to say something, but we will come back to your lady bits jingling, because I don't think that is normal or human. So, Elias, what were you going to say?
I was just going to tell y'all that I haven't seen the last Star Wars movie, so I'd really appreciate it if you got... No, I'm kidding.
Lord.
No, seriously though, I haven't seen the movie, but I mean, I've learned that I don't give a shit about spoilers, because spoilers don't actually ruin the movie for me, because you can tell the entire plot. Baby, there ain't nothing like seeing it for the first time.
So true. So true.
Visuals and effects. Like, dog, you could tell me the entire plot for the next 10 Star Wars movies they have planned, and I'll be like, that's cool. I don't give a shit. Wait till I see it.
Yeah, exactly. It's also the journey. It's about the journey, too. It's about getting there.
It is. So,
you know.
That being said, though, so you'd say Star Wars is one of your favorites? Or like-
I would say of movie franchises, besides Marvel, because we said Marvel's pretty big. I mean, Marvel's up there always, because Marvel just did as a franchise, could like doing it the best out of anybody.
Marvel
figured the fuck out. Like, Disney Marvel figured out how to do a franchise the best. I mean, like, when you have a franchise that the only time that your box office record's beaten is by the new movie in your own franchise, like, you got to figure it out pretty much. Yeah. But near and dear to my heart, it's Star Wars, because I grew up with my dad, and like my dad was like such a sci-fi buff, like Star Trek, Star Wars, like anything sci-fi. I mean, this guy watched fucking Farscape, he watched fucking Battlestar Galactica. If it was in space, he was fucking watching it. So nice. Star Wars was the ones that I really clung to when I was a kid. The other ones, not so much.
That is fair.
Farscape is ridiculous.
All right. So moving on from there, we had a discussion separately, like not as a trio, but I know we've had this discussion between each other before, because one of the things that we have in common is the three of us all went to the same high school.
Wow.
We're not wow.
So something that one of you had mentioned, I forget who it was, but they made us, like, when you like looking back on it, and this wasn't just our high school. I know that a lot of us experienced this in middle school too, because middle school had like a weird schedule. But like a great example of weird things that happen and crazy things that like our schools did to us or that happened to us in schools was like your lunch being at 11:30 in the morning, and someone. What if we give them cheeseburgers and chocolate milk? They need. That's exactly what they need. Just give them and just like 3 cartons of chocolate milk each, and send these fuckers on their way. They'll be fine.
Oh, and do they have to run the mile after lunch? Because that would be perfect if we could feed them chocolate milk cheeseburgers and maybe like a fucking cookie, and then they can go run a mile and shit themselves.
Time out. Cookies. Does anybody still here remember the fucking cookies, the chocolate chip cookies in the plastic bag with a little yellow tie on the top? Tell me those aren't the chocolate chip cookies that have ever been invented by mankind.
Oh, sea wing cookies.
Oh, dude,
Delicious.
when they were so perfectly, when they would cook them just a little under, and
Oh,
they were so beautifully, deliciously soft in the middle, and you were like, oh, I get cookie and cookie dough. Stop.
Oh my god.
It was the one thing that I walked into our cafeteria and was like, that shit's gourmet right over there. That's the one gourmet shit in here.
Dude, and you know what? Like, for our high school, like it was. I'm pretty sure some other high schools must have had it, but like it was sort of like a shock to my system when when I first started high school, and like they kind of got everything going like the second month or so, and I had my lunch and it was like at like 11:30 or something, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to the cafeteria, and people were like, no, you see those blue carts over there? And I'm like, yeah, what about them? And they go, that's the cafeteria, bitch. And I'm like, what do you mean that's the cafeteria? They're like, come with me, noob. And they would take me.
Come with me, noob.
They'd be like,
oh, the pizza.
Ray's Pizza or Frankie's Pizza, and then they would have like 57 or Domino's, and they'd be like, all right, it's $1 a slice or some shit like that. And you'd be like, word, what else you got? And they'd be like, we got 92 different kinds of Subway sandwiches. Hey, we're bringing Burger King, bitch. And you're just like, how do I?
Like, what the fuck?
Got too many choices. Mitzy, go.
I love that there was this weird, like, societal. We all knew the rules, but we didn't. Like, no one ever told us the rules. We just figured it out. Where it was, if you went to the cafeteria, you were a fucking loser.
Yep.
If you got the juice in a bag, you know, that plastic bag, and if
Stop! I love those juices.
Stop! Don't you search the name of the juice bag.
First of all, no, never. I would never. But depending on how you drank your juice, defined if you were cool or a fucking loser.
First of all, call him by his name. His name is Mr. J.
Mr. J. Yeah, Eli.
You have to say it like Harley Quinn.
Mr. J.
There you go. All right, so we're going to start there. That's number one. Number two, for those of you who have never seen this bag in real life, you've only seen photos or heard stories, I'm going to let you in a little secret. These bags never came with a straw, so you had to use critical thinking skills to figure out how to drink this shit.
Wait.
Acceptable ways of drinking it.
Okay, so there's two acceptable ways of drinking it. Technically, there's only one, but people would take the straw from their milk carton and jab that bitch in the middle, which is wrong.
Or psychopaths.
Yeah,
Correct.
which is absolutely wrong, and you should be fucking herded up and shot.
Exactly. That's incorrect. Wrong. The correct way is to squeeze it from the bottom, bite one of the corners, and suck that bitch.
There is a third way, and this was strictly reserved for events such as doing really well on a test, or it's hot as fuck outside because it's Miami, and in the middle of our lunch break, it's 98 degrees outside with a humidity of about 150,000%. So what do? You grab two fucking Mr. J's and you shotgun those fuckers like Budweiser's.
Yes.
Give me life.
It's hot and you took like a Mr. J juice bag straight to the fucking face. You felt like one of the old like Birdman cartoons when he would be in the sun. Birdman.
Oh yes.
Reinvigorated, just not with the power of sunlight, with the power of juice.
Mr. J.
There was also the one food that I always bought at lunch, like in the cafeteria whenever they had it, those fucking cheese sticks. Whenever they had those cheese sticks.
Or the chicken nuggets.
I don't even know about the chicken nuggets. The cheese sticks were the cheese sticks? Oh no, and the fried chicken. If there was fried chicken, I'd go after it.
Oh yes, I remember eating the skin off of them. Ooh, they were so good.
It was on a different fucking level. Like I feel like they would fly in like some just like, I don't know, like some southern fucking woman who weighs like 228 pounds, has probably like, I don't like, you can't even say you can't even measure like blood alcohol level for this woman. It's like grease blood level. And that woman just like get out of my way and just go into the kitchen and just fuck shit up for a whole 9 weeks and then be like, and disappear.
Her favorite franchise is butter. She's like, anything butter does, I love it, honey. When butter comes out with something new, I'm all over it.
That woman's name was Paula Dean.
Ooh, Paula Dean.
Dude.
Oh, she only wanted to work with a full black kitchen, that Paula Dean.
Yeah. Well,
Oh God, but she knew how to cook, man. She taught me how to make some French toast. Oh Lord.
Yo,
Best French toast.
have any of you ever been to her restaurant in Savannah, Lady and Sons?
No.
Yo, let me tell you, we made like a 1.5 hour line one time to get in there.
Oh.
Yo, everything from the biscuits to the drinks to the chicken to the fucking mashed potatoes was a spiritual experience.
Wow.
Biscuits alone, just biscuits and gravy. Like, I don't even need to order anything else. Just give me biscuits and fucking gravy and a never-ending stream of fucking sweet iced tea, and we're fucking Gucci. Like, I'll be there all.
I can't even imagine.
Look, I could smell the butter.
I know.
No, my
It's like we.
was Subway sandwiches because I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't have pizza. You can cry for me later. But the Subway sandwiches were excellent, and I was a fat fuck back then, so I would just be like, give me like 3 of them, and I would just take them all to the face. Well, because they sold them in halves, like you get the but I would usually get like the turkey club, like 2 turkey clubs and a veggie delight. And I'd start with a veggie delight, and then I'd open the other 2 and put an almost unconscionable amount of mayonnaise in them, and then I'd swallow those fucking things.
Lord.
I
I had
always went.
pizza. Yeah, I would always go to the food carts and get the pizza.
What
Best.
would you get though?
Just a cheese pizza.
That they would have like 92 boxes of Domino's, and then they'd have like 4 or 5 boxes of Frankie's, and Frankie's
Yeah, here's
greasiest pizza on earth. Like, you could cook with the grease that was coming off of the pizza slice.
here's the thing. I'm bougie as hell, and when the bell rang, people would run, sprint, full speed to these carts, and the line would be egregious. So I'm like, I'm no dummy. I'm not going to waste my time waiting in this line. I'm going to meet with my friends. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk. And then when the line is low enough and there's just enough time to get my lunch, eat it, and go back to class. That's it. So whatever was left is what I got.
Okay, that's fair. I like strategy.
Yeah, I always ran to the blue carts too. But I'd just grab whatever the fuck they had. There was nothing there that I was like looking forward to. I was just like, oh, what do you have? I'll eat that.
Well, the Burger King
That's good.
great when they would be like, guys, guess what? We brought 49 crates of fucking 88-cent cheeseburgers. Woo!
Oh my god, those were the days.
19
When they had,
hamburgers. Let's go.
bro, when they had Coke in the vending machines.
Oh,
Oh, stop.
Stop, nigga. Get
My
out.
lunch, my freshman year, was a honey bun, a Coke, and 2 bags of fucking honey barbecue Fritos twists. That was my goddamn lunch.
Woo! God.
James, I'm so glad that you and I were able to have at least 1 year of like good high school, like
Oh yeah.
lunch and no dress code, because as soon as we became sophomores, they're like, okay, everybody's got to wear a dumbass uniform.
And we're only putting watermelons in the vending machines.
Yeah, there's like Powerade, and that's it. I was like,
Everyone's
no!
a vegan now. Okay, great.
No, I thankfully had I remember my freshman year, my lunch almost every day was either a couple of Subway sandwiches or a couple of fucking like McDonald's or Burger King, like the little shitty cheap hamburgers with a giant fucking bottle of Sprite, and dessert with a bag of like Sour Patch gummy worms or Sour Patch watermelons. And like, it's a miracle that I didn't either die of heart disease or like go into like a sugar-induced coma every single day. Like, that really speaks to the resilience of the teenage body.
Honestly, those were the days.
If I even think like, should I or should I not add bacon to that sandwich? Like, I physically feel my chest hurt when I decide to add bacon.
Oh no, I'm not. I'll add bacon to fucking every meal every day of my life. But like to be able to eat,
Dessert, throw me some bacon, baby.
to be able, yeah, you think I'm fucking with you? Let me get some fucking bacon brownies up in here, dog.
Wait, hold on. What?
Oh, you don't know about bacon brownies?
I have brownies, so no.
Well, this conversation just got sadder because it's one of the best things I've ever eaten. It's because the salt, the natural saltiness and the fat of the bacon with the chocolate of the brownies is out of control.
Stop.
No, I'm surprised that like just the amount of the fact that like a teenage body can survive off of processed sugars. Like, I legit only had basically sugar for fucking lunch for.
And there goes his audio again. His AC must have turned on.
God fucking damn it! Really?
He's back.
Is it all low voice now?
No, you're not Barry White anymore. You're good.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. Although I had like an epiphany just now, and I'm pretty sure this exists, but I've never thought of it. What if we baked brownies with a Reese's peanut butter cup in the center?
Yeah, you do it.
Yes.
Is that a thing that exists already?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, Eliza, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Dog, remember, I can't eat any, like, the list of things that I can eat is like 3 pages shorter than the list of things that I can't. Like, okay? So,
I
like,
mean,
I think of these things and I'm like, what if we do the thing? And everyone's like, yeah, dog, we've been doing that shit for like 10 years. Where you been?
yeah, it's been that way for forever.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm an idiot. All right. So I gotta ask, because I know I was there for a year before you guys got there. Were any of your teachers ever arrested, or did they ever get in any trouble?
The band teacher,
Which one?
I don't know because I wasn't a band kid, but I know there was rumor, or I had heard through the grapevine that our band teacher was canoodling with one of the students.
Noodling was happening?
But that
Oh.
was that legitimized?
I'm pretty sure. Also, there was a story. This was prior to James and I going to Southwest, but there was also a story of some students who had I don't like this word, but done things.
Fucked.
Yeah, but without consent. Yeah, they did it to
Oh,
do you remember that story in the library?
Oh, the graping. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I heard
Yes, I remember. Yes.
even happened before I got there.
Yeah, that's no bueno. There's a lot.
No. Whenever that happens, wherever it happens, no bueno.
No, there's
Mm-mm.
where it happens that it's bueno, unless it happens to like a pedophile in jail.
Yeah, then no one cares, but
Full word.
Still not bueno though.
It's neutral.
But it doesn't feel bad because you're like, well, you deserve.
It doesn't disturb the balance, is what I'm getting at.
correct.
The moral balance is still intact.
Exactly. The force is intact. For at least for me, like my freshman year when I got there in 05 was our PE teacher, whose name escapes me. I think it was like some Hispanic, like Gomez or Gonzalez or Gutierrez. But he was like an older Hispanic guy who, like, we all noticed like the first 9 weeks that were like, why are you wearing enormous polarized sunglasses inside, like on a cloudy day when we're in the gym? And then little by little, our tiny little, like, our little adolescent brains started to notice weird patterns. Like when we would do our exercises, like, all right, time to do push-ups and sit-ups and crunches and things, he would separate the boys from the girls. And he didn't give 3 shiny fucks what the boys were doing. Like, we could have been playing Twister for all he cared. He'd been like, hey, you guys are doing great, keep it going. But the girls, he was like laser focused on the chicks.
I remember this. I remember this teacher.
Yeah.
I know. I forget his name, but I remember who he is.
Mitzy, hold on. You have some late breaking news. What is it?
So I was one of those females.
Oh, no.
So it was
Yeah.
Christy.
Yeah. So the girls' locker room was interesting because I guess the PE teacher's office was within the girls' locker room. So we would be getting dressed and changed, and we would just see like him in his chair through like the crack of the door, just trying to wait for us to finish getting ready. But he would always pop his head out like, are you ladies done? And we're like, no. And he's like, oh, you better hurry up. But he would linger. Oh, it was so creep.
He was
so
a
creep.
lingerer.
He was a lingerer.
Oh. There's nothing creepier than a lingerer, because the lingerer knows they're lingering. Like they know it's too long, but they can't help themselves. They're just like,
And the lingerees are like, sir.
yeah, and they're also fucking 13. Like, go away.
So fucked.
I remember one girl called him out on it one time. It was like I think we were doing like the physical fitness, like a health exam where you got to like get that machine and like touch your toes and all that shit and see how far you can fucking, I don't know, do like a cartwheel across a ring of fire. Who knows? And,
Oh God, I wish that was one of the tests. That would have been dope.
and like, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like, what happened? I think it was the machine. Yeah, it was the machine where like you had to like put your feet against it, and then you had to push the little thing at the end of it by doing like a reach forward thing with your fingertips.
Mhm.
And I don't remember what exactly happened. Something like she was wearing a shirt that was like a size too small, and it would go up her back as she like reached forward, which is like that's the normal thing a shirt does when you reach forward far enough.
Yeah.
And he was like, he came up behind her and like kneeled next to her and was like, "Come on, you can do it." And he like put his hand on like the small of her back, like right above her butt. And there was no shirt there. It was like all exposed skin. And he put his hand like flat on it. And this chick freaked the ever living fuck out on this guy. Like she teleported. Like I remember sitting on the bleachers and 1 minute this happened. The next she was against the wall screaming bloody murder at this guy.
Good.
He like put his hands up and was like, "Yo, you need to chill." And she was like, "You need to not fucking touch me." And like, ooh, like, we were just a bunch of belligerent assholes. So everyone was like, ooh.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No one's de-escalating. No one's de-escalating.
Only like our prime directive was make a fucking scene. Like
Always.
Bro, que clase de chumeria happened that day. And
But
like a security guard walked in and was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And they brought the school resource officer. And she was like, "He fucking touched me." And he was like, "No, I didn't." And everyone was like, "Yes, you fucking did." We all
No, don't lie, motherfucker. Yeah, you did.
118 of us saw this shit. Dude, it was bad. Like I remember it got to a point that the school resource officer took the coach away and was like, "You need to come with me outside right now." Like right, and not even like come with me. He like grabbed him by the arm and was like, "Let's go." And I think like the female coach that we had, like this tiny little Asian lady, came and talked to her, and the girl, like after she got over, I guess the emotions got like they boiled over, and she just started fucking sobbing. And like I remember like talking to some of the guys that were next to me, and we were like, "Yo, hold on a minute. Like, I know that we're dumb. Like, we can all agree on this because we're boys, but like, did he like touch a tit? Did he like slide his hand down and like grab her ass? Like, we all saw what I think we saw, which was just like the palm of his hand touched the small of her back, and then he removed it. That was it, right?" And we're all like, "Yeah, we saw it from multiple angles. That was it. So why is she freaking out?" Obviously, we were morons back then, so we didn't realize the implication of what had just happened. But
Well, I mean, I think you're young and you don't understand the situation fully. You've never thought outside of your own perspective before. You've never that's things that come like when you think back on it as an adult, you're like, oh, it makes sense. She felt uncomfortable the entire time, and then finally that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's like, hey, you're actually gonna touch me now? Like, no.
yeah,
You're staring at my tits as I do jumping jacks every day. The last thing I want is for you to fucking touch me.
yeah, I know you and I, James, like in our group, we had a mutual friend. I'm not gonna say her name. I know it starts with an S. She had
Samantha Reyes.
no.
oh my
Just
God,
kidding.
James.
That's a random. I don't even know it's Samantha Reyes. It's just a random.
No, actually, I'm gonna message you her name really quick because I want to make sure that you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, hold on, I have to take my hand back from my cat.
Okay.
She's laying down, sleeping next to me as I record, and she keeps stretching her hand out because she wants to hold my hand as she sleeps. Because she's a fuck.
I want to see if you know who this is. I don't remember her last name or anything.
Wait, was that her?
No. That's not the one that it happened to.
Oh, okay.
The girl that you said she hung out with, you just gave me an Obi-Wan Kenobi moment because I was like, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh yeah.
What?
That was she was a good friend of mine all the way through like a little bit past graduation. And then we kind of like stopped talking.
The girl that I'm talking about, that was sort of like in our group a little bit. She, I mean, for being like a 15-year-old, the chick had like tig old bitties, like way, way more than a girl at her age should have had. And I remember that there was a period where she refused to do jumping jacks in front of this guy.
Oh yeah, I remember her telling me this story.
Because she'd be like in the front of, because he would break it up into like columns, right? Like there'd be like 6 girls here, 6 girls here, and 6 girls here, or whatever. And she would almost always be at the front, and he would only ever stand like in front of her column to watch her do jumping jacks. And I remember one flat out, like at least what I saw from my perspective, she just refused. She's like, "I'm not doing them." And I think,
yeah, and it's like,
I think it was some time after that. Like, I think it was like one whole 9-week period after that had passed that this whole incident with the other chick had happened with the cop. And it kind of like, it clicked for us at that time. We were like, oh, you're a fucking creep. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, like, oh, you're what people tell me not to be.
No,
Like,
Barry Manilow is back!
Wait, is it Barry Manilow?
is it really?
Wait, talk?
Talk.
No, just give me a whole sentence.
Give me a whole sentence.
I hate him in any voice.
I hate him in any voice. Just give me a whole sentence.
Active-
Test. I'm not doing anything different. I'm talking normal. So am I sounding weird?
Can you sing a Barry Manilow song, please?
What's a Barry Manilow song?
I don't know.
Doesn't have a deep voice.
Wait, what's a Barry Manilow song?
I don't think it's. I think it's Barry White.
Or Barry
Oh.
White?
Barry White? Okay, let's do Barry White then.
Oh my God, you're the first, the last, my everything. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone knows that one. I can't get enough of your love, baby. Wait, hold on. I wanna know the whole thing.
Look at the lyrics!
I am. Hold on. It's not enough, baby. It's not enough, oh baby. Oh baby. My darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby. I don't even know how this song. I don't even know if I'm getting the melody right.
I was gonna say because your tone deafness is hurting me because you basically sound like fucking I don't know like some.
I don't know the song. Hold on, wait.
Oh man, you know there's somebody listening like, you don't know Barry Manilow? I'm sorry.
Barry White. What is your obsession with Barry Manilow? I'm looking.
Sorry! Barry White.
No, we're not talking about this fucking weird like fairy rat-looking guy, Barry Manilow.
Stop.
He looks like a bird.
Can't get enough of your love, babe. Girl, I don't know why. I can't get enough of your love, babe.
It's getting a little better.
No, some things I can't get used to. No matter how hard I try.
This is a weird podcast.
Yeah, this is a weird one, huh?
Unplug your mic and plug it back in. I miss.
Also, I really kind of want to learn that Barry White song now.
You will. Just unplug your mic.
To learn the song?
No, so we can get your normal voice back.
Oh,
Plug your mic and you're good.
Better now?
Yes. Okay. James.
There you go.
Where were we?
Yeah, where were we?
All right. So we were basically talking about how that PE teacher of ours, which I think we subsequently all ended up having at some point in our high school careers. I don't know if he ever officially got arrested, but I know that after that whole incident, he got in a pretty decent amount of trouble because I never had him as a coach ever again. And I didn't see him for like what felt like almost a whole school year. So,
Well, I mean, there was a bunch of, like, I don't think any girl who had a PE class with him wasn't going to say that he was a creep.
yeah, like everybody mentioned it. And I know that they were mentioning it for a while until some of the teachers were finally like, okay, all 700 of them can't be wrong. Like,
Yeah, there's no way.
no.
By the way, I have 17% battery on my laptop.
Okay. So that being said, we're going to
Plug it in.
I can't plug it in. It's on a dock in the fucking dining room. I'd have to like take out my whole fucking thing.
yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm using my work computer. Also, we've been going for almost 2 hours.
Oh Jesus, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's go.
I would like to eat lunch.
Okay, yeah, me too. I'm starving. So we're gonna kind of take this back a little bit to some of the earlier days of the dairy aisle. This is mainly just to break things up a little bit, but because I know when we did it for the first few times, Mitzy showed a lot of interest and happiness in this. So we're gonna take it back and we're gonna do some Would You Rathers.
Woo!
Yay!
For our first Would You Rather, this one's gonna go to Mitzy.
Oh boy.
Would you rather experience the beginning of planet Earth or the end of planet Earth?
Oh, 10-10, the end of planet Earth. Because then, yeah, I didn't miss out on anything. Also, there's more access to resources, better technology. Why would you want to be in the beginning when there's things trying to hunt you down? No, thank you.
I don't think there was anything trying to hunt you down in the beginning of planet Earth, seeing as it was just a molten ball of fucking rock floating through space.
Oh, we're talking like that, because I thought you meant like the beginning of human,
No. I mean, literally the beginning of the big rock. Like,
Yeah, no, still I still want to be at the end. Yeah.
all right, James.
Nothing exciting going on in the beginning.
Um, I'm gonna go just play devil's advocate here. I'm gonna go beginning, because I think it would be interesting to see if we're full of shit or if we got it right. So let's see what it actually looks like at the beginning, right? Like, right, this is all based on a lot of data that's been collected, is like a lot of different, different scientific principles and theories have come together in order to create, this picture of what the beginning of Earth's, life looks like. But I want to see it from my own eyes. What did it look like? What does the universe look like? What, 4 billion years ago, whenever the Earth was created?
Just about.
So yeah, I would go to the beginning. I probably wouldn't have a good time, like Mitzy was saying. Wouldn't have a good time. Gonna be weird. Gonna be a lot of molten rock and gas everywhere. But
For the purposes of this question, whether you go to the end or you go to the beginning, you are free and safe from any geological or time-based processes that would affect you. You are just an outside observer.
okay, so you're like an outside audience member. Cool. Okay, yeah. So beginning still. Though. Beginning.
Right. Okay, cool.
What about you, buddy?
I definitely go to the end just because I feel like the idiot in me would like to sort of like think it, in my head and like sort of wax poetically about the history of Earth leading up to that point and like what the end signifies. And if it's really, is it the end for us or is it like the end for just, like our home, that kind of stuff. But I'm a sap for that kind of shit. So
Yeah. What if you go to the end and it's just like the end of the sun's life cycle and it's just like the sun destroying its own solar system?
I mean, it's likely what will happen is that, planet Earth, barring some like horrible, asteroid catastrophe, that's what will likely happen in like fucking whatever, like 18 billion years, which is I think like the current lifespan of the fucking sun or something. It'll go through this whole process of, inflating and deflating, becoming a white star, a white dwarf and then a brown dwarf and then a red giant. And when it becomes a red giant, it envelops like half our solar system. Mitzy apparently knows quite a lot about this. Go ahead.
No, but I have what if this is a trick question because the end is the beginning? Wow.
I would lose my mind.
Oh, every time it ends?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, theoretically, that I know of, even through telescopes, we've never seen the end of a planet.
No, but you have to assume that if a star goes.
I mean, yeah, and that's likely what would happen is that the sun would turn into a red giant, enveloping, like I said, like half the solar. I think it like would reach like Neptune or something.
Yeah.
What I find weird is that a red giant releases a lot of heat and it gets real big, right? If it reaches far enough out, doesn't that suddenly mean that the planets farthest in our solar system are now in their own Goldilocks zone? Like, aren't they now in a habitable zone? So wouldn't that suddenly mean that places like Neptune and Saturn and Jupiter can possibly develop life?
Maybe, but I mean, that would. It's also like the chemical composition of those planets are so gaseous rather than like rock based. So it would take maybe, but it would take a lot more time. Things would have to start solidifying a lot more on those planets.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe with the added gravitational pull of a red giant, it would obviously cause some changes.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. We got real astrophysical on this bitch. So
I love that.
So what's the next would you rather?
One, and we're gonna start with you, James, on this one.
Ooh.
Would you rather reverse one decision that you make every day, or would you be able to stop time for 10 seconds every day? Yeah.
Oh, I got this. It's so easy.
I can re-roll one decision, or I can stop time for 10 seconds.
Yep. And when I say that you can reverse a decision, it only means a decision that you've made that affects you and the world around you, not a decision that somebody directly tied to you has made for you. And
so like if I go and decide to blow up a building, I can go, I want to redo that decision.
Right. And essentially what would happen is that space and time around you would revert back to the moment right before you made the decision.
Got it. But I still have all the knowledge of
like
past the decision.
You saw the end point of that decision, and what it led to, and you said, all right, no. But it has to only be within that 24-hour period.
I'll stop time for 10 seconds.
Okay, now stopping time for 10 seconds. I'm going to give you a caveat. It can only, like, that time only expands a certain distance around you.
Oh, so I'm not stopping all of space and time for 10 seconds. I'm only stopping like a radius of time around me.
This way, you can only stop time for 10 seconds in a radius around you that extends to the point that your vision drops off.
Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So when you can no longer see past a certain point, everything past that point is still going on normally. Everything else will stop for 10 seconds.
But now I'm going to be causing a bunch of like temporal issues for like different parts. Like, what if people are going through an intersection and all of a sudden like, I freeze them for 10 seconds all of a sudden, but other people don't. They're like, wait, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be way easier for people to track me because they're just going to see a bunch of temporal.
Okay, so yeah, so you'd go with what decision?
So if that's the way it's going to go, then I'll do decisions. I'll redo one decision a day.
All right, not bad. Mitzy, what about you?
This is a no-brainer for me. First of all, I live my life, no regrets, all right? Not a single letter. So I'm going to stop time because I'm a clumsy mofo. You know how many times I wish I could stop time because I'm about to drop my phone and it's about to shatter on the floor and I'm just like, wait! And then I just pick it up and I'm like, all right, continue.
Okay.
Oh, is the 10 seconds once a day?
Yes.
Okay, fair.
All right. I'd go with
Because I was like, if you have unlimited 10 seconds, and it's like, well.
Yeah. I'd go with decision making.
I have a question.
Yes.
So does your 10 seconds, do you have 10 seconds per day? Or is it like you get one shot at stopping time for 10 seconds? Can I be like, okay, stop, okay, unstop, and I only wasted 3 seconds and I still have, 7 more seconds to use throughout the day?
Do it like that. You have an allotment of 10 seconds to use throughout the day.
Okay, cool. I'm good with that.
All right. And the final one. Would you like, and whoever answers first, would you rather meet your favorite celebrity or be in your favorite movie?
No brainer. Be in my favorite movie. Hands down.
Okay, yeah. I'm all there with you.
Because then I'm meeting a celebrity anyway. And then I am the celebrity.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Cue the Inception trumpets.
And then I meet myself in a mirror and I'm like, I got both.
Decision.
Sorry.
So, yeah, I would do the same thing. Just be in a movie.
Yeah, me too.
That one was too easy.
Yeah, that was an easy decision.
So
But the last one was harder.
I threw you guys a little bit of a soft pitch there. Oh, man. This is good. All right, so I'm going to walk us out. I think we've had a good time. Also, all of us are starving and need to go, eat lunch and not be useless anymore. So before we leave, I wanted to give a shout out to two of my very dear friends, Jake and Holly Widdekind. They're two mental health counselors who decided to start their own podcast called Honey, Let's Do More Than Talk. Right now, essentially what they're doing with the podcast is they're going to be tackling some of the topics that they would normally deal with in the office, but give it a sort of interesting spin based on being in quarantine and having to be stuck with your significant other for an extended period of time and how to sort of tackle some of those challenges. They're going to help identify toxic and predatory relationships and also help singles find the right person. And I mean, in today's modern dating environment, you kind of sometimes need to revert back to the old school and help yourself find the right person for you, basically. So if you can, go ahead and look for them. I think right now they have posted their first episode on Facebook, so you can find them on there. Again, the name is Honey, Let's Do More Than Talk. Other than that, I think we're actually going to have, if I'm looking at our show notes correctly, yeah, we actually have a link to their podcast, which we'll go ahead and put in the show notes for you folks. Besides that, I don't think we really have anything else. Mitzy, you have anything for us?
I mean, just if anybody wants to follow, subscribe my channel.
Yeah, give yourself a shout out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it.
Plug it, girl, plug it.
Shameless plug. Here goes. Yeah, I am Mitzy Mouse on all platforms. So, Instagram, Facebook. Although let's cut the Facebook part out. All right, that's like friends and family. I'm probably not gonna accept your friend request. But definitely Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Find me on all platforms. Mitzy Mouse.
Her YouTube page is really great. She does a lot of Disney vlogs and travel vlogs. Her and her beautiful husband have also started putting up tutorials on how to, if you want to create a pond, if you want to take care of turtles. So her page is expanding, and she's trying out a bunch of new stuff, and it's really fun to watch. So go check it out. Give her a subscribe. Click the bell. Get notifications.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and her Instagram is great too. So go follow her on there.
Yeah, I do a lot of Disney stuff, but it's so funny because right before the quarantine, I wanted to do like more Florida travel. And then they're like, hey, you can't leave your house. And I was like, well.
Guess I'm fucked.
Hey, you know how you're going to do that thing with your YouTube channel? No, you're not going to do it anymore.
But I'm still diligent. I put out new videos every Thursday at 12:15 p.m. So go watch.
That's really precise.
Yeah.
12:15 every day.
12:15 every day.
If it's not
not every day, every Thursday.
Oh, be careful. You almost fucked up. You almost set improper expectation.
Oh, no.
You got to under promise and over deliver. Duh.
There you go.
All right.
But yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. We like having our friends on here, especially when they know things.
Oh, man, if you want to talk about more things, I'm more than happy to come back.
You're definitely going to be back for other episodes. I guarantee.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Jamesy, where can they find you?
They can find me as per usual on Instagram at Jigamuth, Jiggamuth. I'm really bad at posting stuff on social media because I like to just live my life instead of documenting it.
Whoa.
No, I just get lazy. I don't like documenting stuff. What's it called? But I'll try to be better on there. And I've been using stories more a little bit. Just because it's like the quickness of Snapchat. I'm like, I just put up a story and be done with it. But I'm going to try posting more on there. But that's the primary place that you can find me.
All right. Yeah. And you can't find me anywhere because I don't want to talk to any of you. No, I'm kidding.
That's right. He lives in a bunker.
No, you can find me on Instagram at Grumpy Eli. I don't have a YouTube channel or anything cool like that. That's basically the only way to contact me, or just talk to me through, oh my God, through the Facebook page or through the Dairy Isles Instagram. That's at the Dairy Isle, as you all know. Again, if you want to know anything more, pretty much our Instagram is the place to find it. And if you want to contribute in any way, which I know probably now isn't going to be the best time financially for a lot of you to do that, but if you got some extra money lying around or you don't have zero idea what to do with your stimulus check, you can take a little bit of it and head on over to Patreon and check us out at the Dairy Isle. We have some content over there for you, and we're building it as time goes on. Over time, we're hoping to eventually get you guys some merchandise and some swag because that's going to be fun. Other than that, pretty much that's it. Right now, what we're offering on the Patreon is just a lot of show-based stuff. So if you see anything on there that you like, pay for it, dog. I mean, we don't use the money for anything other than other podcast stuff. So, I ain't paying bills with it. That's for damn sure. That's basically it. So if all of your shoppers can take all your stuff to the front, we're going to be closing the store. Also, don't forget to take your masks with you and your hand sanitizer. That'd be sort of important. And thanks for listening to another. Look, I'm totally fucking up this outro. It's rusty. None of you judge me. Okay. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Damn Dairy Isle. Mitzy, thanks for being here. We love you. I'm not sure what that was.
Thanks for having me.
Was that Animal Crossing noise music that you were just making?
No, that was your own outro.
I couldn't tell. I'm obviously just as tone deaf as Barry White, James.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Everybody be safe. Love you all. Bye.